Alright, no more waiting, man. Let me get y'all what the fuck y'all been waiting on. You know what I'm saying? Already, just like 2012, controversial, my list was of albums of the year. So fuck it. I was gonna wait until the 31st, but seeing how it's a special day, you know what I mean? At least in my life, at least years ago, today is, somebody close to me birthday. You know what I mean? She ain't watching, but happy birthday. Top 20 rap albums 2013. You follow me on everything, you already know that I already said it was gonna be top 25. I shortened that shit, you know what I'm saying, to 20 albums that either meant something to me, I played the shit out of, I liked, it had good production, and the songs just was dope as shit. You know what I'm saying? Lyricism, flow, bars, all that. It's what I like. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, starting it off number 20, and no dumb shit. I don't want to hear no sucker shit. Like, what did I do? I said something about events in 2013 when they were talking about the Drake and Chris Brown shit. Like, oh, that happened in 2012. Did it really happen in 2012 or did it happen this year, my nigga? Anyway, moving on. Number 20, Lil Wayne, I'm Not a Human Being 2. I know a lot of people was like, the album was whack, the album was trash. To me, it was cool, you know what I'm saying? I didn't like the first one. I thought the first one was pretty different. It had too much, it sounded like a Young Money compilation than anything. But I think definitely, he kind of grew as, for whatever it was that he do the I Am Not a Human Being album for, to do whatever he wanted to do creatively. I wouldn't have let Kanye West do the album artwork. The packaging. I thought that was pretty weird on some Illuminati shit. But he had joints in there that was cool that I fuck with. You know what I'm saying? God Bless America was one of them. Um, I don't had a. I should have had the booklet with me to. You know what I'm saying? But number 20 goes to Lil Wayne. 19, Earl Sweatshirt with Doris. Even I fell for it. I thought it was gonna be something incredible. You know what I mean? I just think that over time it was a good album, but his best work was just on his mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? When he put out that one mixtape, and then the work he did with Odd Future and everything like that, it wasn't a bad album. It's just not some shit I was going back to like listen to like that. I think I listened to it like 5 times, and I actually downloaded it and paid for it. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely was a cool album, but at the end of the day, it's cut short. Now, number 18, I did fuck with this album, you know what I'm saying, but it just came out too late in the year, you know what I'm saying, and it's like some trap shit to where it's like not that lyrical. So at the end of the day, 18, Fredo Santana, Trappin' Ain't Dead, still for an album, you know what I mean, that was released basically independently, it still was a dope album, you know what I'm saying. So definitely, shout out to him. He put out a great album. I definitely would like to see some distribution and him get an album in stores. I sure will support. Number 17, I know a lot of y'all gonna have a problem with this. Actually, I'm a switch it to number 17 and number 14. So number 17 gonna be French Montana. Excuse my French. I still feel that was the best sound wise album of the year coming out of NYC. In my opinion, it just was from, I'm not saying he's the best lyricist and nothing like that, but for what he did for the album for New York for the sound, it definitely was dope. You know what I'm saying? So moving on, number 16, Big Sean Hall of Fame. I just feel like he just dropped the ball on that. I just think he really tried to go in there and recreate what Kanye West already had done, and I didn't really see a growth. He had some good samples on there. I mean, some good songs on there, but it just wasn't worth all the hype he was building up and saying it was gonna be album of the year. It was gonna be the best thing since whatever, and pitting his album over everybody else, and it just to me dropped the ball. Number 15, 2 Chains with Boats 2. I definitely feel like the label didn't believe in him, and they definitely undershipped the album. But at the end of the day, I still feel like, you know what I mean, it didn't hold a note to part one. You know what I'm saying? I just think it was too nursery rhyme. He do music like that, and he got put in that lane. You know what I mean? But I definitely feel like if you're gonna go for singles, the first one had way more singles. You know what I'm saying? And some of that trap shit than the second one did. I just really couldn't get with a lot of the shit on the second one. I was disappointed in it, but I got a couple joints I fuck with, but other than that, not really. So like I said, number 17 go to number 14, and that is B.O.B. with Underground Luxury. Now I know the album recently came out, you know what I'm saying? So how could it make the list? But I always been a B.O.B. fan, and I feel this album was better than his last album. Where I feel his last album was very commercial. You know, he had once he out know he had Taylor Swift on the album, and then Wayne was cool, but they did that Strange Cloud shit. Then he named that after, you know, the album after the single. It just really wasn't there for me. I definitely think out of the trilogy, his first album definitely is a classic and definitely is better, but I still feel he had moments on there that actually meant something, that had great structure on there. I mean, that John Doe record is fucking phenomenal. Like, once I actually listen to it, it's like, holy shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's about somebody that has a problem with addiction. And I think we all have problems with addiction, but with anything, not just drugs or alcohol, but everybody's addicted to something, but it's about, you know, overcoming that shit and facing it, you know what I'm saying, and seeking help for it. So that's my number 14. Number 13, Tyler, Creator with Wolf. I definitely feel like when he came out and just bashed the album and said it was whack, you know what I'm saying? I had went back from, and like everybody, I didn't know about Odd Future or Tyler, Creator. When he ate the roach, I just kept hearing about that. Like, who is this nigga that ate the roach? You know what I'm saying? But even back with his first, you know, two albums, Bastard and then Goblin, you know, I heard Goblin first, went back and heard Bastard. I'm like, he can spit, he can flow, but it's on some weird type creepy shit. Like, remind me of Eminem. So when he definitely said he was working with, you know what I mean, Pharrell and different producers and shit, you know what I mean, I definitely checked it out. He grew as an artist, song wise, lyric wise, production wise. Production disc was fucking incredible. And the thing with his three albums is like you don't know what order they go in. I still don't know what order they go in. Does it go Goblin, Bastard, then Wolf, or Wolf, Bastard, Goblin? So if y'all out there know the storyline, that's real. Future fans, let me know. But just the story on there, the one with his grandma definitely touched me because I lost my grandma. You know what I'm saying? I was actually there. You know what I mean? Like when she was dying, and then after I left, she died. So I definitely can relate to that, and a lot of other things. You know what I mean, with love and insecurity and things of that nature. You know what I mean. So I definitely felt a lot of his music on there was relatable. You know what I mean. No matter how old you is, you know, you still go through problems, you still go through things, but it's how you deal with them and how you talk about them. In my opinion, you know what I mean. So that's my number 13. My number 12 go to Yo Gotti, I Am, because I definitely feel like he grew from the first record I ever heard him with. I think it was with Bun B, if I'm correct. You know, from all the way to the Women Lie, Men Lie record. You know what I mean? From the baddest, what is it, 5 Star Chick. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely to me grew, and he definitely found his niche in his zone. And for that dope boy, trap boy lane that I feel nobody was really in at the time. You know what I'm saying? He definitely came and took it over. You know, T.I. ain't wasn't doing that no more. Jeezy, in my opinion, Ben fell off of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Gucci, so it's really nobody was doing that. But Yo Gotti been consistent. You know, ever since Cocaine Music 5, I was like, holy shit. You know what I'm saying? He definitely doing it. Cocaine Music 6, you know, was definitely it. And then he did the whole mixtape series where it was like, I think, what was it, November? The, the first one was something, the date, and then this one was November 19th, if I'm correct, prepping for his album. But definitely Yo Gotti, man, he got great songs on there. The joint with Neo and Wale is fire. The first track, I Am, he just got so many records on there that just dope. The record with Homie Quan, so I definitely salute him and think he had a great album. It was sort of topsy turvy, but I picked number 11 over him just based on, I think the lyrics is the part where it had that Coke Boy flow shit but still had lyrics, and that's Pusha T with My Name Is My Name. I still said what I said in the review and feel like as an artist he still haven't grown a lot as far as subject matter. You know what I'm saying? I think he stressed out his vocabulary a lot, but he just learned to use bigger words, and he experienced more shit, so therefore he can talk about that lifestyle being under Kanye West and things like that. But I don't ever think that he had reached the status of a Kanye West or Lil Wayne and shit like that. No matter how much he disses Lil Wayne, I still think he's envious of his position. You know, yeah, Pusha T will always be known for, you know, a lyricist, one of the best in the game, but he'll never be known for being that big superstar. You know, and he been in the game decades and just now putting out an album. But yet and still, the lyrics on that shit was phenomenal. But I still feel like his Rapper Came tape should have been his album. Moving on to the top 10, and we starting off with Troy Ave with New York City. I remember watching the interviews and everything. He said he gonna have the best album, you know, out of coming out of New York City. definitely that 90s feel, that real New York sound shit, and he definitely gave us that, and I was very surprised at how good that album was. It was no kind of ratchet shit, no kind of dumb type of shit, none of that dumb bullshit music. It was straight gutter, straight New York. It gave that 90s feel, that real hip hop New York sound, and he definitely delivered on that project. And I was very pleased with that, my nigga. And I was like, wow, that shit was crazy. You know, to see that a young nigga that I never really knew about, just based off hooks that he did, and grew to be a fan of him. So that's my number 10. My number 9, regardless of what people say, watching movies with the sound off Mac Miller was a fucking incredible album. Just the title alone had me like, damn, where is this nigga going? He just had songs on that shit that was just incredible. I think his writing skills have got up. I think he played too much on the first one with trying to fit into that pop type of world, and then he seen people wasn't taking him serious, so he like, no, really, I do this shit, and he really put that pen to that pad, and he really can compete with a lot of rappers out there, you know, as far as these bars and shit. And if you listen to Macadelic, shit, like once that came out, I already knew Mac Miller wasn't nothing to be played with no more. So that's my number 9. My number 8, of course, not hating lyric wise, Eminem, Marshall Mathers, LP. You have to give it somewhere on the list. But as far as my favorite, nah, I'm not gonna say that. A lot of people, it was ass, like it was garbage. So let's keep it real. Moving on, number 7, Childish Gambino, Because of the Internet. Concept alone, great. I wish it would have came out in the beginning of the year. Would have been higher on the list. Just the concept alone, the production, the way he mixed the melody with the rapping, the storytelling, phenomenal. Number 6, Kid Cudi, Indica, dope album. You know what I'm saying? I actually said some dumb shit when I reviewed it. I was like, what's a red eye? And they was like, oh, it's an airplane, like a late night flight. You know, I felt stupid for that. But at the end of the day, we all make mistakes on certain shit. I mean, I only been on a plane once. So, excuse me for that. But definitely, I can't wait for Men of the Moon 3. This was an incredible album. Some people say it's emotional. You know what I mean? Or people say he ain't been the same since, he stopped using drugs or whatever. But they say that about Eminem and Lil Wayne. But at the end of the day, Kid Cudi did his thing. Number 5, top 5, Jay-Z, Magna Carta, Holy Grail. Not what I expected, but at the end of the day, the deal alone, how he did it, it was enough to talk about. And he has some cool songs on there. Picasso Baby, the joint with Justin Timberlake, the joint with him and Beyonce. Fuck with me, you know I got it. You know what I mean? Fuck up the world. The song with Frank Ocean. So he definitely delivered. And I mean, even at his old age, he's still up there and can compete with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? Number 4, yeah, I know I bashed the album, but at the end of the day, J. Cole, Born Sinner, you know what I'm saying? Some of the stories on that shit, you know what I mean, touched me in a certain way. I think the visual for the joint with TLC really drove me to be like, okay, let me check it out, or maybe I missed something. And I definitely feel like he did his thing, but it just was too dark for a summer album. If it would have came out like in the fall, you know what I mean, autumn, winter, it would have been dope. But lyric wise, story wise, he still got to grow a little more. And I definitely think J. Cole will definitely be up there one day, with the Kanye's and Jay Z's. But for now, he at number 4. Number 3 goes to my man Kanye West. Yeezus was an incredible album. I still don't get why y'all sleeping on that shit. Everything was bad about it that y'all hate was the production. If he had anything, take the music by itself, the lyrics, and just have it as, with no production behind it. Acapella, y'all would love that shit. If he gave you that old school feel, that old school production from his first 3 albums, y'all would have loved it. But Yeezus is my number 3. My number 2 goes to Drake, of course, and that was the same. I think he slimmed it down. He bared more in this album. He hit you at every angle. He gave you more of himself. You know what I'm saying? And how can you not respect that? I definitely was shocked, but I still feel like Take Care, probably because of the singles. But far as song structure and really telling the story, nothing was the same. You know what I'm saying? It was a good album, and it almost made number 1. But that go to my boy Wale, because I listened to that album, you know, through thick and thin, you know what I'm saying? Since June, that's my birthday, and that album, every song on there was relatable. It touched me in a certain way, and it's just the way he put his heart and soul into that album. You can just feel it and you can hear it. You know what I'm saying? He got skipped off every fucking list it was, but I already knew off top once I heard that album from the leak, and then I bought it, it was gonna be on my top number 1 album of the year. You know what I'm saying? But The Gifted really did something to me, and it was a gift from Wale to us, and y'all need to go back and listen to the album and appreciate it. So there go my top 20 albums of the year 2013. Y'all go ahead and talk about it amongst yourself. Comment, do what you want. But there y'all go. I'm out. One.